Morning friends, Russell here. If you watched one of my previous videos, I did a review of this PK grill smoker. Today I'm going to try and I'm actually going to try and smoke a pork butt on this grill using what they call the snake method, where you line up 3 rows of the charcoal in a long snake. And if you pan down, you can see I've got 2 rows of charcoal briquettes lining the outside perimeter of the grill with a 3rd row on top of it. And then I'll place, today I'm going to use cherry wood, and I'll place a brick of cherry wood around as I go. And the way you start this, obviously you lay the charcoal, and there's lots of videos on YouTube on people doing this. And then you start about 10 briquettes in your charcoal chimney, and once that's, once those are good and ashed over, then we'll lay those 10 briquettes right here, close the lid, and let it come up to the temp. I'm going to be looking today for about 225 to 250, and then we'll put the meat on it and cook it till I get to an internal temp of about 160, and then we'll wrap it. But this video will kind of go along through the day. This is the first time I've tried smoking something on a PK. I normally use this side fire smoker over here for doing smoking meat. So this is going to be an interesting thing. And supposedly with this snake method, I can set it up and kind of leave it alone. I did a test burn on it last night. I was pleased with the results for how long it burned and stability of the temperature. So I've got good confidence this is going to work well today, and I won't be constantly checking temperatures and adding wood. So we'll be back in a little bit when I get the meat on. Now, while we're getting the fire ready, I went ahead and prepared the pork butt. I'm not going to tell you the spices that I use, but I will tell you the method that I use to apply it. I rub the whole pork shoulder or Boston butt with just plain yellow mustard, it kind of as a binding agent, and then sprinkle my spices on it. And we'll let this sit while the coals and the grill and everything's getting ready, but I'll let it sit at room temperature out here while everything warms up. But yeah, that thing's going to be delicious. All right, the 9 or 10 coals that we started off, well, it's been about 15-20 minutes. They're fully ashed over and ready to put on the PK grill smoker. So I'm going to do that right now, and we'll start letting this get up to temp. And you can see they're hot. They're fully ashed over, so this will give us a good base to start this fire with. And supposedly, the way this is supposed to work, and I should say supposedly, I tested it last night and it does work, is we're going to lay these coals in here, and it's going to slowly burn like a snake, I guess. That's why they call it the snake method. So these coals will start getting everything hot, and at the same time, as they burn, they will start to burn the next coals over, and this fire supposedly is going to slowly burn its way around. That just means I don't have to monitor it as often, which is good for me because I have other things I need to do today besides monitor a smoker. So, like I said before, I normally use a side fire box to smoke on, but usually when I smoke meat, and you can thank my wife for this, we're firing up the smoker. It's let's smoke a pork butt and a brisket and 2 racks of ribs all at the same time. So today all I'm doing is just the pork butt. We had one that was in the freezer for quite a long time, and it was time to cook it. So we're going to let this come up to temp, and we'll put this pork butt on. Well, our grill's at about 225, and I want to smoke it between 225 and 250. Yeah, we're right at 225. So I'm going to go ahead and put this pork shoulder on, and you can see how that fire is starting to burn in its steak pattern. Ooh, splinter. That sucks. So we're going to go ahead and put this on. Now I always put when I do a pork shoulder or ribs or brisket or anything, I always put it with the fat cap on the upside, so that as it melts down, those fats will melt down into the meat and just adds more flavor to it. And get this positioned. I really don't have the right tool for this. All right, and I'm going to add another piece of cherry to it, just for good measure. And she's in. And we'll monitor that temperature throughout the day. It's probably going to be on there for about 12 hours, and we'll come back in about 3 and check the coals, check the wood, and check the temperature. Okay, so our internal temperature has reached 160 degrees. So I'm going to pull the shoulder off and wrap it in aluminum foil, and then we'll put it back on and let it finish cooking. So bear with me for a second. We'll get this going. We'll get our temp probe put back in here real quick. And while I'm at it, some coals around here. Let the temp come back up. So far I'm pleased. Not real pleased with the little snake method. I couldn't get it up to temp, so we've been in and out a couple times today. Still pleased overall with smoking on this, but the whole idea of starting the fire, putting the meat on, and then going away for 6 hours, that ain't gonna happen. It still has to be monitored pretty close. So we're gonna let this cook for a couple more hours and come up to about 170 degrees, and then we'll pull it off, let it rest, and shred it. All right, so we cooked it on the smoker until it got to 160 degrees internal temperature. Then we wrapped it up, put it back on the smoker until we got to 205 internal. And the reason we want to go to 205 is the collagen in the meat breaks down at that point, and that's where we get it, that it just falls off the bone. So it's done, it's been resting. You can zoom in and take a good look at it. It's got a really nice bark to it, and you can see this bone is about, the bone's pulling right out. So I'm going to transfer it out of the foil into my pan here and shred this up, and we're going to have some yummy barbecue. Once again, if you like this content, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon. That way you can see what else is coming up, and there's more to follow.